Hello. I feel called to make this video. If you're new, welcome. My name is Silent. Spell that Silent. Bricktown Vampire. If you're new here, also read my bio. So, I feel called to make this video called Why You Have to Shut Up. Why do you have to shut up? Well, you have to shut up to truly seek enlightenment, and you also have to shut up to truly harness whatever powers exist within you. The reason why you have to shut up for enlightenment is because you have to stop talking, stop thinking, stop describing, stop narrating, stop labeling in order to see life for what it really is. Life actually turns out to be a very ironic, paradoxical, contradicting thing. Life is something that you can't understand if you're using your thoughts. Thoughts actually have a separate function outside of understanding reality. Understanding reality is something that is a natural case for you because once you understand your entire purpose for existing, then you understand that we always understand reality. It's just whether or not we are embodying an entity that behaves and acts like they understand reality. But a lot of us have fallen asleep into a state of low frequency, which means that we have descended out of our spiritual beingness, our godliness, our holiness. We've descended down into a low level of humanity. And this identity, this level, this dissension from being an eternal spirit to being a human, not only just a human, but an animal, a physical form, has caused entities, holy entities, to descend into mortal, flawed creatures, finite creatures. And it has caused them to basically forget their purpose on Earth. And it's probably happening on other planets. Things that come into existence and forget their identity, forget who they are as a spirit, as a soul. And they start to believe that their life started in this body. That sounds all great, that your life started in this body and that your name is whatever your mom named you. But in all reality, that's not how you actually remember it. You don't remember there being a start. Just like you have no proof that there's an end. So if you think it's crazy that I call myself an immortal vampire, a divine vampire, just remember that you'll never be able to prove me wrong. Because even if I decide to leave this body, you'll never be able to prove me wrong that I'm going to choose another body. and that I've been choosing bodies since the beginning of time as the universal spirit of God. The reason why I can be humble about this and not feel confused is because I understand that I'm not special and that everyone can say this if they just simply remember it about themselves. But most people have forgotten who they are. So who they really are has been replaced by a false identity. And this false identity is what rules people's life. And whenever the question of stepping out into oneness and independence of self, free from noise and distraction, that's looked at as dangerous or risky or not normal. And so that's why we have the issues we have, which is that a lot of unhealthy stuff is normal in this day and age, because being attached to the physical is the norm. But in all reality, you are nothing physical. The definition of you literally is the opposite of anything physical. That's why it's so hard to understand yourself. That's why you have to remember yourself, because there's nothing to understand. The essence, the nature of who you are, does not actually exist. It's invisible, yet it exists. It underlies everything. It connects everything that you could ever possibly see in reality. So you'll never be able to wrap your mind around this, which is why you have to remember it and tune into the beingness of it, because wrapping your head around it, not only will it not do anything for you, but it's an impossibility, because the paradox of life is that it exists, yet it never happened. It exists, yet it never happened. And both are true for eternity. So you'll never be able to wrap your mind around this split. It is a fundamental split that underlies all of creation, which is the law of polarity. The fact that everything is split down the middle. Everything has an opposite. Everything has an opposite. And everything has an opposite. Every possible form of thought, anything you can imagine, which is where everything comes from, imagination, is split down the middle. Nothing leans only to one side. So these abstract pictures that I paint, the reason why I post these videos is because these are timeless channels, timeless readings of divine presence, free of all human thought. So different people are going to come to this at different times, and how they interpret it is going to be different depending on what time they're in. But in all reality, only the chosen few will actually understand what's being illustrated here. So that's the interesting thing about all this. But If you're someone who likes to watch my long videos, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because when I started posting shorts, I seen the little view spikes that you get from people swiping onto your video. And it gave me a high that almost made me think that shorts are going to fuel my channel. But after I gave it some thought and I realized that there are a lot of people getting views on their long videos, I just realized that I have to really dial in and channel a frequency that has an audience that's ready to hear. So that's my goal, and I'm just trying to be myself. But it's unscripted and it's very channeled. So if you're wondering why there seems to be no clear direction, it's because your job is to catch on to the direction of the video. Your job is to figure out why the stuff that's coming out of my mouth is coming out of my mouth. But I try to avoid being a teacher, because the truth is you have to remember all this on your own. This can be taught or learned. This has to be felt into from a place of remembrance, by you connecting back to your divine nature. The essence of you, before anyone ever says anything to you or adds any labels onto you. The essence of you, naturally. Nothing added to it. Untouched. Untouched. That's what we're searching for. That's what we're trying to return to. Your natural state. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.